everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Beautylicious Budgeting. My name is Anna. Today we have a different type of video. I'm going to be shooting a get ready with me / life update. So there has been a lot of stressful events going on in my life, and I just want to be true and authentic on this channel. So I just want to say, first off, I'm not trying to say, oh, these are the worst problems ever, I have the worst life ever. That's not it at all. Develop plans and solutions and took control of things that I can't control, but I just thought it'd be best to share it with you all. I'm the type of person that usually bottles it in, doesn't ask for help, but as of recently, I learned that talking about it and asking for help really does help me. So I really hope this all helps you if you're going through stressful situations or similar situations like me. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. I usually focus on content such as beauty, lifestyle, and how to save money, but I will be doing my makeup today. It'll be less about the makeup, more about what's been going on. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button down below. Also, let's give this video a thumbs up and let's just go ahead and get started. So some things I want to bring up, I think I'm gonna go more into the lighter stuff where I can laugh about now, and then kind of go on to the more heavier stuff, so to speak. Again, not trying to say woe is me or anything like that. Not trying to have this be a depressing video at all. It doesn't pick up on camera, but I've been having a really bad allergic reaction. I forgot what's called, what they diagnosed it with, but I've had it since early March. And actually one of my recent videos, I was saying my skin's so red and irritated. Well, it's because I was having a reaction to something, and when I went to the doctors, they said, you know, the thing that they diagnosed me with, I'll try and put it up on the screen. It's a lot of things, toothpaste, or if you drink coffee, if you have cinnamon, and even makeup products, heavy creams and moisturizers, which I've been saying my skin's dry. So it caused me to break out here. I don't know if you could really see, but it's a little red, dry and patchy, but on Saturday it just went all the way up to my eyes, and it's been coming and going. So something's breaking me out and I don't know what. And I did have a solid week of having my skin be normal. I don't worry about these random flare-ups because it's very unattractive. This is a lot more muted down, but it just goes up and down. It's just so weird. So it's a lot of things that can cause it, even stress, which I've been very stressed out. So I just feel everything that causes it, I literally put cinnamon in coffee every day, and I've been using heavy creams, and it says don't use makeup products or skincare, which hello, I do. And they're oh, try new products, which again, I have, because that's what I do on this channel. So I just felt personally attacked. But anyways, I'm just trying to see what it is and just try to eliminate my stress and kind of control what I can. And that's just been embarrassing too. Thank God we're wearing face masks right now because I could go out in public. Also, something else that happened, I mentioned in my previous Dollar Tree video, I fell on the floor. So I was filming on the floor and my Old Navy order came in. The dogs were going crazy. So I was oh, who's at the door? And I just shot up and I kept falling to the ground because my legs were asleep. And I hit my lower back on our wooden floors a few times. So that hurt. I literally had to crawl to my couch, and then I was oh great, my phone's on the tripod. So I had to slither down, grab my phone, and then call my husband. And then a few minutes later I was able to walk again. But then a few hours later I was hunched over for 2 to 3 days, and the doctor said it would continue for a few weeks, which it definitely did. I mean, I think after about 2 to 3 days I was able to walk straight. And then also I have been looking for a car. There's just so much going on. It's really hard to rely on my husband and my mom for a ride, or if I just want to go somewhere. It'd be so much easier if I had a car. It's been 10 months now, almost a year since I've had a car, so I just been trying to look for that too, just dealing with salespeople and just all that. And the car I want is super hard to find. So it's just kind of dealing with all that in everyday life. And then kind of moving on to the more serious stuff. And again, be respectful in the comments down below. This isn't easy for me to share. I'm sharing because it makes me feel better talking about it. I feel I'm releasing it, and if it helps other people. And then also when I share my stories with other people, even one of my coworkers, they experience it to some extent, or even family members, and it's okay, I'm not alone. So for me, it's just kind of therapeutic right now. So I've been having panic attacks to the point where I have a very hard time breathing, so it kind of comes in spurts. So when I feel like super overwhelmed, I just get like super hot, I can't breathe, like I start to black out, like my vision's gone, like I can't hear anyone. I'm just like, it's weird, it's like you're just non-existent. And the only time which I could say I could like revive is when like a cold gush of air, or if like someone's giving me water, that's when I kind of come back and I'm just like super like sweaty, and it's just like super embarrassing. Like actually like one of my coworkers saw me like that was like super embarrassing, but you know, she was very like nice about it. But I just, even like one day I just felt overwhelmed like right before clocking into work, and I had to message my admin and say I'm having a panic attack right now, I can't breathe, because I'm on phones all day at my work and it's been super busy there. So it's been really stressful as well. It's literally back to back. When you hang up on a call, you have 10 seconds to answer the other one. I feel like the timer goes really fast. Like I'll try taking a sip of water real fast and I'm like swallowing my water and then I have to answer it. So it's just like a lot of talking, just go, go, go type of thing. That's something new I've been experiencing. Like when I was younger, I would pass out a lot. So I know what triggers me, like bloody, gory movies, like even like Grey's Anatomy, just any scary movie like that. Anticipation, like, you know, your heart's racing and you know something's gonna come out. Like I can't do haunted houses, any of that. Or like the talking about like surgeries or like birth or anything like that. Like I just like black out and I will legit like pass out. So having panic attacks, I feel like is like a lot scarier because I know like I'm not breathing. At least when I pass out, like, you know, I just pass out. But the panic attack, more of a warning. So like I feel the symptoms more so versus when I pass out. So it's definitely a lot more scary because I'm over here, you know, trying to catch my breath. And then 2, if I'm around people, I'm like, this is embarrassing, even like family members and stuff. And then 3, I'm just worried about how I look. So it's just like all that at once and you literally just can't control it. It's like the worst feeling. And you know, I did reach out to my resources and I found a therapist and she was just awful. She was like sharing stories about other people and I'm like, oh great, she's probably gonna talk about me next. And I was like, I don't think you're allowed to share that. She's like, oh, you know, it was a long time ago. And I'm like, okay, but still. And she never reached out to me again for an appointment. And so then I reached out to my admin, kind of vented to her about everything, which was really nice. And I guess her work had like a list of therapists to talk to, like for free. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So my admin gives me the number, I call, I get a list full of therapists, like at least 12 therapists, let's say. I'm literally going down the line. Every single therapist goes, I don't deal with that. I don't deal with that. I don't deal with panic attacks, or I deal with that. I'm not accepting new patients at this time. And I'm just like, oh my God, like no one can talk to me. But anyways, I just felt like, okay, I found a therapist. She's not getting back to me. Just, I don't know why I pass out with those things. Like I never had like a surgery, never like saw like a traumatic like accident in person where I saw like all this blood and gore. Just want to avoid it at all costs. So I just felt like, oh, like not even a therapist I can't talk to. So it was just kind of hard and I would just bottle it in because no one in my family could understand. Not because they didn't want to, they just don't have the experience. But once I kind of reached out to him and I just kind of broke down one day and I was like, I need help with this. I kind of put everything on my plate and I'm like, oh, I can do it myself, or no, I'd rather do it. I'm like a control freak in that matter. So I always like taking everything into my hands, like with certain things. So then I get overwhelmed and stressed and these panic attacks come up. So I just finally caved in and said like, you know what? I need help. This is for my mental health. So if you have panic attacks, it's normal. It happens, you know. And the most stressful issue that's been going on, my dog, Marshmallow, so 3 to 4 years ago, he was diagnosed with a detached retina, meaning that he's now blind. So he's been blind for a while now. He navigates pretty well. Back in December, we noticed his eyes weren't looking right. They were like super red, full of discharge. He was squinting. His attitude wasn't the same. We took him to his primary vet. They didn't specialize in eyes. Said he needs to see an eye specialist. Eye specialists were booked out until February, so I just took that appointment, was calling like emergency vet, and they're like, nope, got denied because everyone was saying he needs to see an eye specialist. I live in California. I was literally gonna drive to Nevada, Arizona, Utah, even San Diego, which is a few hours away from me. I don't care where I went, he needed to get seen because he was not getting better and I was tired of being denied. I called the eye specialist every day. Hey, if there's a cancellation, let me know. I'll pay the extra fee. I don't care, because he was not doing well, and me being his pet owner, I'm seeing this, and it was just kind of hard for me to see him act like that. So finally I was calling like out of state, like places like 6-8 hours away from me, and people kept mentioning a place that was about 40 minutes away from me, and they're like, oh, you can go here on emergency. I called them before and they told me to get an appointment, but you know, called again this time, told them what people were saying. They're like, you can come on emergency, it's just gonna be pricey. I'm like, I don't care at this point, we're going in. I don't care if I have to wait 10 hours, just whatever. My mom and I take March there. It's probably January this time, and they took him in like right away. As you went in and they see his eyes, like, oh my God, like, yeah, they took him in right away. Even to this day, we've been there like so many times, like every other week or two, even sometimes like twice or 3 times in a week. And there's not a clear diagnosis on what it is. We've done like every ultrasound, x-ray, abdominal ultrasound, just they checked his pressures in his eyes. They're like, I don't know what's causing it. Like his eye pressure was high, and then he has high blood pressure, and then they noticed that he was losing a lot of hair. So we did like every test possible. So every time we took him on an emergency visit, easily a couple $100, not including any medicine that he needed, additional diagnostics. So this was causing a huge financial stress, and just like requesting the time off work. Like sometimes I had to call morning of because he didn't look good, or he had like discharge in his eye. So, you know, I had to like worry about work, and then like trying to find a ride out there, like either have my husband call in or like my mom have the day off or call in. So like that was stressful as well. Again, I need my own car. So just working with all that and like hoping, you know, I don't get in trouble at work, and you know, making sure Marshmallow's okay. And they still don't have a clear diagnosis. He kept having to change his medications. He's on 5 medications right now, so he needs it 3 times a day, each 5 minutes apart. So, you know, every one of his recent appointments, they brought up the possibility of eye removal surgery. And I'm like Carrie in Sex and the City when they bring up Mr. Big's like heart surgery. I just waterworks, and then I started like Googling and YouTubing eyeless dogs and making myself more depressed. And we got an estimate, which I thought was gonna be like triple the price. I mean, it's still expensive, but I was like, oh, thank goodness Ernie and I have savings and everything. So it's still expensive, and that's something we're keeping in the back of our minds and just trying to be frugal on in case we do need to move forward with the surgery. And so when they brought that up, they said he's not there yet, and that yes, if we did proceed with it, he wouldn't have to take his medications. And we kept taking him in, there's something new, like his pressures went up, or his eyes started shrinking and this eye started enlarging. So there's just kind of always something new, or his hair is thinning more, but they don't know why. So it's just like, oh my goodness, there's no clear answer. So I was okay with the eye removal. So I go, so is there a reason we're not moving forward with that? I came to terms, I need to choose what's best for Marshmallow, not like for cosmetic reasons. Said next appointment, if his eye pressure increases or when I return back to work, I said I can't give him his afternoon dose. Nobody can, because we were all working. So they said if like that were the case and his pressure were to increase, then yes, so that's just kind of something I've been dealing with. And I can't find an answer for his hair loss, and we've done all the tests they recommend and they can't find a solution. His primary vet can. So I'm just like feeling like guilty, like, oh, like I should be doing more. I should be getting like a third opinion. And you know, poor Marsh, like, is he feeling okay? Does it bug him? So I'm just over here like, you know, financially stressed, and thank goodness like my husband, my parents help out with the vet bills. Like they are not cheap at all. And so this is how Marshmallow looks right now. I know he looks a little different. So this eye definitely is a lot smaller and it shrunk. And then this eye got very enlarged, and they said this eye may shrink as well, but it's not painful. So it's just weird seeing him go through that process in such a short amount of time, but he's still a happy guy. He still hops around in the backyard. He still loves his treats and his wet food. So his behavior has been normal recently, just his eyes don't look the best, and I don't know if you can tell, they're very red. So it's just kind of hard to see him like that. I've had him since he was 10 weeks old. I got him when I was 18 years old, so we kind of grew up together. I'm very grateful that I'm able to work from home 100% because I'm able to monitor his behavior, and there have been times during work hours I had to call out and take him to the emergency, but he's doing well now. He also has to be like on high blood pressure medication, and then also I just have to keep on track like when he's running low, like ordering a new prescription, because they charge like, so this is crazy. For one eye drop, it was $100. I was like, oh my goodness. I go to Chewy, I get all 5 medications for like 70 bucks. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, no, we're going through Chewy. You know me, I had to look for cheaper alternatives because it's something he needs like monthly or even like every few weeks. The bottles are like teeny tiny, so that's just been an additional expense as well, and his pet insurance wouldn't cover it, of course. But just dealing with all that, and you know, having to see him go through that, or just seeing like a new change every morning. He literally goes to bed with us. He literally sleeps on my pillow like a little person. Like, we'll be cuddling at night, like he's just always there. He's just like a little cuddler. He gives like rude faces on camera, but he's actually like very sweet and like loves to cuddle. That's it for today's video. Again, I wasn't trying to be dramatic or be like, oh, I have the worst life ever. Not at all. I'm actually really grateful for all the support that I had from like friends, family, even at work. So if you're going through something or just want to vent, feel free to shoot me a message over on Instagram. I'd definitely love to chat with you if I can help you in any way. I have learned recently that things out of my control, I just can't do anything about it. It is the way that it is. And the things I can't control, I could either sulk about it or I can make a plan of action. So, and with situations like my panic attacks and marshmallow situation, unfortunately that is out of my control. I can only do what I can control by, you know, talking about it, looking into like therapists who deal with panic attacks, like breathing techniques, you know, just continue looking for his behavior and attending doctor's visits. And you know, everything beyond that is just out of my control, and I need to learn to accept that. And I'm sorry for the negative type of video. Again, I just want this to be like a real, honest, and raw video. So if you like videos like these, let me know in the comment box down below, and let's give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll see you all in my upcoming videos. Bye everyone.